to attract a good specimen, big enough to carry the camera. Next, they'll need to fit the camera to the squid and hope that it dives down to deeper waters. To capture their Trojan squid, Cassell and Hychik have designed a custom lure named Pseudomorph, or Sue for short.
This lure is hoped to be able to catch a squid while it's down there in the deep sea.
2,500 miles away from the Sea of Cortez at Metro Molded in Minneapolis, the team is overseeing construction of the lure. The idea is for Sue to look like a small squid and a potential meal for a much larger squid.
Wow. Very cool.
All we gotta do is get it down to Mexico.
Customs is going to love that.
If Hychik is right, his cameras will be the first to record a monster-sized Humboldt swimming freely in its natural habitat. Monster Quest is planning a deep-water expedition to the Sea of Cortez for a squid as large as a school bus.
There's always someone bigger, is something my mom told me. No matter how big and bad you are, there's always somebody that can take that title away from you. I've filmed an 8-foot Humboldt squid that was in excess of 200 pounds, and I do not think that he's the biggest.
The existence of an outsized Humboldt with the attitude to match could lend some credence to an old legend. In the 12th century, Norwegian sailors first described a squid-like sea monster called the kraken, after the word crake, which means something unhealthy or twisted. Legend has it that the kraken created whirlpools large enough to sink ships, and that its tentacles were big enough to reach even the tallest masts. This image was drawn from the descriptions of French sailors who claimed to have been attacked by the kraken off the Canary Islands in 1861. It suggests a creature some 36 feet long.
It is one of the earliest sea monsters.
Richard Ellis is a biologist and researcher at the American Museum of Natural History in New York. He says the kraken's terrifying appeal for storytellers through the ages lies in its size and alleged appetite for carnage.
There are a lot of stories, all of which turn out to be old sailors' tales about giant squid attacking ships, or grabbing people off the decks, or grabbing people offshore. None of these turn out to be true.
Jules Verne was among the literary greats inspired by these stories. In 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, the crew of the Nautilus sustains a bloody attack by a herd of 25-foot giant squid. The book's protagonist describes one of the creatures this way: enormous staring eyes, 8 arms, like the serpentine hair of the Furies, the monster's mouth, a beak made of horn and shaped like that of a parrot. Among the first people to suspect that it could be a giant squid were whalers who worked in the southern oceans.
The whalers in the 18th and 19th century, which were hunting sperm whales, would catch the sperm whales and harpoon them, and every once in a while a harpooned sperm whale would regurgitate some strange object which turned out to be often the arm or the body of a giant squid. The whalers would hook that, drag it ashore and look at it, and they were probably the first people who methodically understood the existence of giant squid.
Along with the stories of the kraken's attack on ships, sailors told of battles between the monster and its nemesis, the sperm whale.
Whether or not it really is able to fight well with a sperm whale is the big question, because there have been the sucker marks found on the jaws and the skin around the mouth of a sperm whale. But most of us who know this animal and talk to our colleagues who know whale behavior are pretty sure the whales are eating those squids. And those are the last gasp tries by the squid not to be swallowed.
Some believe this old rivalry may explain the stories of squids attacking ships, the squid mistaking the vessels for a sperm whale. But not Ellis.
They're probably heavily elaborated, but there are some accounts of squid attacking people in rowboats. The people would row over to where they saw something on the surface. They would get close enough to it, and then the thing would start flailing around, and they'd chop its arms off with an axe. Most of those stories are probably great exaggerations.
Still, the Pangeros say it has happened in the Gulf of California. To succeed, the expedition to find a giant Humboldt will need to deploy a camera to an area they believe is the most likely habitat for a monster-sized Humboldt squid, the darkest depths of the Sea of Cortez. Dubbed Project Trojan, the plan is a simple one. Attach a camera to a live squid and hope it will swim to where the much larger squid live, 1,000 feet below the surface.
Hopefully he'll film the biggest squid that's ever been filmed. And I think we have a good chance, I really do.
Heichik hopes that a camera-equipped Trojan squid will then infiltrate monster-sized squid pods, something large, noisy submersibles have not been able to do. But this ambitious plan has its skeptics.
When we heard Doug's plan to catch a squid, attach a camera to this squid and catch another squid, I was Eeyore. It won't work.
Jeff Cernoff of Nature Vision Incorporated is supplying the team's underwater and motion-activated camera system.
You know, this is a near mission impossible, but we know this crew. They've done great things in the past, so we're very hopeful that they might make this discovery.
And we're still going to be trying to get squids on jigs so we can put the tag-mounted camera on it, let it go, and hopefully see some really cool stuff. And any natural history filming we can get of the animals coming up.
To find the squid pods, Cassell will recruit local fishermen and their boats as research vessels. A $1,000 bounty has been issued to any fisherman who locates an active pod of Humboldts. One challenge is that, unlike other marine life, squid are difficult to find using sonar.
The composition of the squid is basically the same as seawater. It's basically the same density as seawater, and they have no bones.
Dale Pearson is a survival specialist and team expedition leader. He has been diving for over 20 years.
So the only thing you're going to get a radar bounce off of is their beak. So you're talking an 8-foot squid, maybe has a beak, you know, that big. So it's going to look like a fish this big.
To assist, the team has recruited the services of Humminbird, a company that makes sonars, depth sounders, and GPS devices for professional and amateur fishermen alike. For this expedition, Humminbird's engineers have developed a sonar device that will help the team detect squid.
What we can do to an individual sonar unit to help be able to spot the squids as targets is to max out that unit by increasing the transmit gain and the receiver sensitivity so that you have the best opportunity of spotting the squids.
And finally, to attach the camera, divers Pearson and Cassell will have to be in the water with the squid. After his first brush with the knife-sharp snapping beak of the Humboldt and the thousands of teeth inside its suction cups, Cassell began diving in self-designed chainmail armor. For this expedition, he wants something even stronger, a carbon fiber armor system even tougher than chainmail. He's enlisted the aid of Jeremiah Sullivan, a marine biologist and the inventor of the Neptunic shark suit.
What's happening, man?
I'm getting bit up by the squid and I need a little help on the armor. The problem is that the forearm areas. A beak can actually encompass my whole forearm, and the bite pressure has actually caused damage to me. It can break my arm.
Depending on what it is specifically you think that force might be, we can use the appropriate material for the job, keep it lightweight, make it as easy as possible for you to swim in it.
One of the other problems that I'm having is that I'm filming the squid face on, and they're attacking the camera, and the camera in turn is hitting me in the chest. So I was wondering if there's any impact protection that we can develop.
So you want to put an airbag in the chest of the thing? Why don't you come on in and we'll get some measurements and we'll get started.
Sweet, thanks.
Wingtip to wingtip, 20 inches.
The suit will be constructed using a titanium composite material, able to withstand the powerful bite pressure of the squid's beak.
Well, Jeremiah, thank you very much, dude.
Fair pleasure.
Awesome.
I hope it works out.
You managed to address all the concerns that I had, but you also made it beautiful. This thing looks incredible.
Now